And I am sharing my screen. I am sharing my browser. So can you guys see it? Yes? Not? Fantastic. Fantastic. Okay, so we'll go back to my browser. All right. So RPR. RPR stands for Realtor Property Resource. And I am a big fan since the very first time I used it, a long time ago. I think it was 2010. If you have not logged into RPR, the address is what you see right here on the screen, narrpr.com, narrpr.com. If you have not logged into NARPR, just by virtue of you having an active membership with your local association of realtors, that gives you an account. You just have to log in for the first time, set it up, and you're good to go. Once you log in for the first time, the first thing that I need you to do, if you are an RPR user, then it will be a good idea to go back and check your information. I want you to look for your name. It should be up on top, right there. You should have welcome Stacy, welcome Rose, welcome Jeannie, welcome Ed, right there, and click on it. This is important. All the reports that you can create with RPR come with this very polished, very elegant cover page. And on that cover page, you're going to have your information. If you do not have the right information on the left-hand side of your profile right here, for example, your phone number, your preferred phone number, your email address, your website, it is not going to appear on the reports. Yeah? So you begin to see why this is important. Another thing, if you have a preferred picture, an image that you like to use, and you want to change it, well, by default, it's going to have nothing. It's not going to have a picture. So you can upload it, and then you can change it from here. So this goes both for brand new users and experienced users. Maybe you still have a picture in there that you don't use anymore. An interesting detail, if you happen to have your own logo, yes, you can upload your logo, and it's going to appear also on your cover pages. Now, the brokerage information cannot be changed. The brokerage information comes directly from the National Association of Realtors, Chicago, and NAR gets the information from your local association. So your brokerage information is fixed, and it will have the address for the main address, the main mailing address for the whole brokerage. That's why in my case it says 14050 Northwest 14th Street in Sunrise, because that is the main mailing address for a whole brokerage for Florida Real. Okay, but all the information on the left-hand side, all of this you can edit, and you should. A little detail, this is very important. You need to enter, and RPR will have by default information on what association you belong to, but you have to enter your user ID, not your password, but your user ID, and it has to be identical to the number that you use to log in into the MLS. So for example, if you are in Palm Beach, chances are very high that your user ID is your NRDS number. So like mine is 279574904. But in my case, I'm a member of 2 different associations, and my primary association is the Miami Association of Realtors. So I have this number right here. That's my user ID. If you do not do this, then RPR cannot connect to your MLS, and it cannot display your MLS information. A little bit more on that later. Okay. Not much more to cover on this section, but it is important. Invest 2-3 minutes on making sure that everything is correct on your profile. Now we are going to go back home. Yep. So this is the home page, and we're going to stop 1 second. You know the search bar in Google, right? You know, you go to Google and you're in a rush and you misspell something, or you just type something in a chaotic way, and most of the time Google actually figures out what you mean. Yes? And I tell you, hey, did you mean such and such thing? Okay, RPR is like that. They have a very, very smart search engine built in. So you can start type something, and you can start to type something, and it will auto-populate it for you. And even if you type with an error, with a typo, usually it will take you to the right place anyway. So you can just do different searches and see how it goes. If you don't have all the information, you can find information anyway. It's pretty good about that. Then you have on the main page, on the search feature, you have 6 different types of searches. One is all properties. Now, I am going to stop right now and tell you about the nature of RPR. So I want you to repeat after me. You can't say it aloud because nobody else but yourself can hear you. You're always on mute. I want you to repeat after me. RPR is not an MLS system. Say it. RPR is not an MLS system. You know why I'm telling you this? Here in South Florida, the realtor associations have sort of a not completely friendly relationship. So what happens is that the realtor associations in South Florida, in order to share their MLS data with the members of another association, they have to get the data from that association in exchange. They cannot do it unilaterally. It's like a marriage. 2 people need to agree, right? I cannot marry you just because I want to, you have to agree. It was the same thing here. So unfortunately in South Florida, the associations are now sharing MLS data with non-members. So if you're a member of the Palm Beach Association, you're not going to see the MLS data for Miami and RPR. And if you're a member of the Miami Association, you're not going to see the MLS data for Palm Beach agents on RPR. And this is why I asked you to repeat after me, RPR is not an MLS system. Because if you go to RPR and you do a search, and your purpose is to find everything that you have on the MLS, you won't find it. On the MLS, yes, you see everything for the associations in the area. So whether you're with Palm Beach, the Jupiter Board, the Fort Lauderdale Board, the Miami Association, you see the same pool. On the MLS, you see everything, but outside of the MLS and RPR, you don't, right? Now, although this is an inconvenience, and it becomes a more serious inconvenience when you're creating a CMA, which we're going to cover at the end of the week, it is not a big deal in the end because RPR is not meant to be an MLS. RPR is meant to gather all the available information on a parcel of land. If there is a parcel of land anywhere in the United States, RPR will try to gather everything available about that parcel of land. Well, we start obviously with tax records. County will have tax records, but they also go, for example, to the geological department of the local university. They will go to law enforcement agencies and get the information that they can for that particular area. They will go to the census department. Everything that they can collect about a particular parcel of land, they will involve it into the data for that particular parcel of land. Right now, they have 158 million parcel of lands in the United States that they cover, and eventually they will have all of them, right? So what does it look like? If you already use it, you already know it's gorgeous, but if you haven't used it before, I want to show you what it looks like and what happens. So I am going to do, I don't know, I am going to do a little search in here. For example, 33072, Pompano Beach.
Justin?
Yes?
I'm not seeing the RPR screen. I'm just seeing it says search 382,000 distressed properties.
Yes, this is RPR.
Oh, but nothing, I'm not seeing what you're doing to it.
Oh, you're not seeing when I type 33072?
Me neither.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And I typed you a little while ago. It's frozen on the opening screen.
Oh, okay. Well, let me stop the share. I'm going to stop the share and restart the share. See if that fixes it. Thank you so much for saying that.
I like your hair.
Me?
Yeah, looks like you got it colored.
What about now? Can you see?
Yes, now we see.
All right.
Yeah, better. Thank
All right.
you.
Fantastic. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
For, right. So, all right. So I just entered a particular neighborhood, just a zip code. I'm going to click on search. I'm going to show you what it looks like when you search for a particular neighborhood. Well, it's still loading. It's still loading. Give it a minute. Wow, it's taking forever. This is unusual. Maybe that's why it was freezing. Yep, something is wrong. All right, let's look for a particular property. Stacy, you want to unmute yourself and give me an address? Any address, one of your listings, whatever you have.
Okay, let's do 8586 Shallow Brook Cove. It's not my listing, but I want to sell that house.
I want you to notice that all I did was to type A586 SHALL, and RPR instantly found it in the database, and it found Shallow Brook Cove, Boynton Beach, Florida 33473. How cool is that? Yeah. So
That's it.
let's see what it looks like for a single property. I don't know what it froze in the neighborhood. That's okay. I'll show you one single property first. Okay, is this the property?
This is it.
Fantastic. All right. So the first thing I need to tell you, all this information that you're about to see right now, it's in a way, it's just like the preview of what you can get. All of this stuff is just like, hey, I found the property. Is this what you were looking for? Because it can go so much further than this. So we're going to go systematically, methodically, from the beginning of this page all the way to the end, and I can show you all the links and the information that you have in here. So the first thing is obviously the address, just to make sure you have the right property.
That's it.
The list price indicates that this is a listing that I have access to. Yes, I'm a member of two associations, so I get away with a lot. Yeah, I got access to this list. Sometimes you don't get to see them. The RVM, very important. You know, websites like Trulia, Homes.com, Zillow, they all have an automatic value model. And tell you, okay, well, this property 123 Main Street, we think that the fair market value is such and such. And sometimes they're like so off the mark that it's not even funny. Okay, the RVM is RPR's version of that algorithm that will give you an automatic value. But what happens is that every single year, the RVM from RPR is actually much closer to the accurate market value than any other value system. Every single year for the last 10 years has been the best at estimating a market value. Now, is this something that you as a realtor want to use? Well, if you just want a very quick, rough idea, maybe. You have access to very sophisticated CMA systems. You should never take an automatic value at face value, never. But that's what the RVM is, yes? It's a quick estimate of value based on the information that RPR has on the database. It will never, ever be as accurate as a proper CMA done by a professional. The second button, we're going to spend a whole class on refining values. So I believe it's Thursday. We are going to spend half an hour just refining values. It's going to be a lot of fun, yes? And create is for your CMA. Here they call it comp analysis, but it's for CMA. Now, I am going to only show you this. We're not going to cover this at all, but I want you to know, if you work with investors, look at this link. This little tiny link, it's going to be your best friend ever. This is a completely separate website that will allow you to estimate the profitability of a particular property depending on the scenario that you input. So, okay, my investor is going to buy this property cash, and he's going to keep the property for 5 years, and the plan is to rent it. Then it will give you a margin of profit. My investor is going to get a loan and is going to invest $20,000 in the property and then wants to flip the property within 1 year. You enter the scenario and it's going to give you a report on the profitability of the property. It's absolutely priceless. So if you work with investors, after the class, remember, dive into this and go play with the property analysis for investors. I bet you didn't know that you had that at your fingertips. So basic facts, interesting thing, on the next class, we're gonna cover how when the basic facts that come from tax records are wrong, you can fix that, yes? Then the photos. This is really cool about the photos. It's going to show you whatever you can find on the MLS, but it will also pull historical pictures. So if the property on the MLS, let's say, has 40 pictures, but you see that the RPR report has 300 pictures, it's because it includes the historical pictures. And sometimes it's cool because you can see before and after. Yes, lots of very cool stuff. Notes. The notes will be there for that particular property for you only. You are the only person that can see these notes unless you decide to print them out when you create a report. So if you're doing research on a particular property, let's say that you start inputting your farm area here, your potential sellers, and you start making notes, those notes are going to be visible only to you. Nobody else will see them. Remember, if you decide to print the notes when you create a report, the notes will be visible to whoever you send the report. But no other realtor will be able to see the information that you enter here in the notes or when you refine the value of your property. That information is just for you. It never goes away. It stays in your account forever. Homeowner information, mailing address, very important. And right here, and this is going to make more sense on Thursday when we're going to refine value, you have the public facts. This is what comes from tax records, yeah? The listing facts, yes, this is what the listing agent has entered on the property. And as we can see right here, the listing agent has more information than taxes because it shows, for example, the half bathroom, but it's not in taxes, right?
Right.
Yes?
Yes.
For example, cooling information, not in taxes, listing agent enter that. Heating information, listing agent enter that. Roofing information, listing agent enter all information. And you can add more information if you want. So you can just click on add new row and you pick, and then you enter information, which is pretty cool. Again, this is going to stay only in your account. So whatever you're doing here is just for you. It's your research. You read the results of your research. You read the rewards of your research. Notes, same thing as before. The notes are only for you unless you decide to print it. Keep on going. Median estimated home value, and it's color coded. Yellow is that particular property. Then you have the zip code, the county, and the state. And you can eliminate, for example, you want to eliminate the whole state, no problem. That's it. See? You can do the same thing when you're printing a report. We're going to call that price. No wrong. Price change history, listing details, interior features, interior details, exterior features, exterior details, location details, blah, 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 blah. And look at this. This is one of my favorites. Schools. How important are schools, right? You're dealing with a buyer, you need the school information. Well, guess what? Look at what happens when I click on one of these links for the school. Let's say that I need information on Woodlands. Click on that. Check that out. Now I have a full report of the school.
Oh my God.
This is a full report. Go ahead, Stacy.
Yes, I'm so sorry. They asked me about this high school. So can you do the high school for us, Olympic Heights? Thank you.
Yeah, sure, I can do that. You guys want to do that? Not if you want to do that? Yes? So I show you how to get all the information on the property. You already saw that. But I want to do Olympic High School, right? Okay, no problem. I'm going to go home. And where would I click? That's right, on schools. And then I'm just going to school district. It's a high school, right?
Yes.
Middle and elementary. I'm gonna type Olympic, see what happens. Olympic. Olympic high. Nope. Olympic. Nope, I got an Olympic in Puerto Rico. What is the zip code for Olympic High School?
Oh, it was on the screen before here.
I think that's asking for the city right there, not the name.
Isn't it the third one down?
Wasn't-
Olympic HS?
It wasn't my
Go
screen.
back to the other screen and just click on their high school. It showed us the high school.
School. There you go.
Okay, Olympic Heights.
Heights. Olympic Heights. Yeah, I was.
Oh,
Okay.
it's A.
Olympic
Wow.
Heights.
Yes.
And this is the full report for Olympic Heights. So you have the grades,
Oh,
the
good.
total enrollment, and this is compared to the Palm Beach County School District.
Oh,
The students per teacher, the students in free lunch program, the academic grades,
oh.
proficiency, reading proficiency, the teacher grade, and then check that out. How cool is this? Can you see? See reviews for this school. And you can see the summary for the school too. Now back to the reviews. See what I did? Just see the reviews. I'm gonna go back to the summary. You just click on the summary. Yes?
Thank you.
All of this can be included. You can print this page alone, but also all of these can be included on your reports. And it works a little bit like Legos. They're components that you can add or remove as you please. Yeah? So how cool is that?
Very cool.
Yeah. So I am going to jump to, I'm actually going to go back to the property details. A little bit more, 1, 2, 3 steps more. There you go. So here on the side, at the beginning, we went all the way to the bottom. On the right-hand side, first I have the map. I'm going to open the map. If I make the map a little bit bigger, I am on the same report. The only difference is now the report is going to start with my map, but that's the only difference. If I want to go back to the same view as before, all I have to do is click on smaller map. See this? It's like a toggle button. Smaller, bigger. Bigger map. Smaller map. Now, probably you're suspecting, what's the difference between one and the other besides size? Well, you got more tools on the bigger map. On the bigger map, I can draw shape. I can use map pen, use custom area, I can show the geographies. So really quick, because we're just doing navigation and introduction right now, but I want to show you, if I want to see, okay, show geographies, and I want to, I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Your subject property will always be right smack in the middle of the map. And if I go to show geographies, and I tell, okay, show me, for example, 9 to 12 grade, it should show me the boundaries for schools pretty soon as it loads. There you go. Downs Road, Sun Valley. Yes. Are these schools? You guys know, I don't. Are these schools? Aberdeen?
No, Aberdeen, am I on?
Okay, perfect.
Aberdeen is a community, but
Community, okay, so why is not showing me the schools?
there aren't any, well, yeah, Somerset should be nearby.
Yeah, it should be. It should show me everything. I don't know if it's not loading properly or what.
There is a school, Boynton Beach Boulevard, right after Lyons Road. Where's Lyons?
Oh, there you go. Now it's loading. See that? If you click on the area, it tells you this is Crystal Lake Elementary School, and if I change it back to 12, click on it, there you go. Now you see it now? Park is the community. If I click here, it's going to give me the name. If I move it around, Olympic Heights.
There you go. Okay.
Yep. There you go. So on and so forth. Now I am going to eliminate the schools, and I want to show you the heat maps. I'm going to zoom out a little bit more. And on the heat maps, I am going to pick, for example, the Concentration of distressed properties. That's something that's always very interesting for us. Once you know what you're looking at, this makes a lot of sense. The darker the color, you have a higher concentration of distressed properties. So I'm going to be zooming in around Boynton Beach. You see in this area right here, you have a hot spot for distressed properties, and the opposite here, very stable. Okay? My subject property is right here, and around the subject property, there is some concentration of distressed properties. Right? You can keep on zooming in. If I change my heat map, for example, to 12 months change in estimated value, it changes. See? I'm going to zoom out a little bit more. If you know what you're looking at, it makes sense. Blue, actually the prices have been going up. Not too much change in color, is stable. And red, the prices have gone down a little bit in the last 12 months, right? These heat maps can be very useful when you're doing research for a buyer, for a seller, or for yourself, for farming. You have housing density, listing price versus sales price, average listing price, and so on and so forth. Pretty cool stuff. I am going to make the map smaller now. I'll show you the rest you have in the second on the right-hand side column. It shows you the listing agent, the historical records for the property, and you can compare historical records if you want to, and then some comparisons on this sheet. Median estimated home value, 12 months change, and so on and so forth. As you can see, this is a wealth of information, and I'm going to go back to what I mentioned about 10 minutes ago. This is just the distillate, the concentrate of information on one particular property, because when you want to see everything, you go to the reports. So I'm going to move to the next tab, which is history. See, this is just a summary, history for this particular property. And now it shows you the sales and financing activity. This can be either very quiet, like this particular one, or very busy. It depends on what actually happens. So if there was listing activity, you will see orange markers. If there was a sale, you will see the little house in ochre. Financing activity, second mortgage, third mortgage, fifth mortgage, you will see it in there. Distress actions, yeah. Assessed value, assessor market value, sales comp valuation, it would all appear in here. Then you will see a the history of sales, either from public records or listing records, whatever you want to see. See, and you can toggle that on and off. Recording date, document type, and so on and so forth. The tax assessments, you can see much more than 3 years. You can just keep on clicking next, and it keeps on going forward in time, backward. Yes? Assessed value for 2018, 2017, the tax rate code area, assessor market year, and so on. Mortgage records, no data available. And this is not surprising because you don't see all the way back to 2015, you don't see any mortgage records here. And distress info, well, again, no distress info, at least all the way back 5 years, nothing. So nothing will appear there. This is the history tab. Now we go into the charts. On the charts, you have some interesting comparisons. And if you want further details on what is it that each one of these charts mean, just click where it says about this data. So this one, for example, it tells you this chart compares the zip code, median estimated value with its median listing price. Estimated home values are generated by a valuation model and are not formal appraised. And it tells you the source. Then we're going to go to a refined value. We're not going to spend any time on this because that's our whole Thursday presentation, how to refine value. And you're going to love it. I promise you, you're going to love it because this is the only system that allows you to enter information and to take into consideration information that we know in the industry is absolutely relevant, but you cannot use in any other CMA. For example, let me give you a very clear example. If I have identical properties, identical, they're perfect clones. But in one of those properties I have laminate floors, and in the other one I have Italian marble. Doesn't make a difference? Yes? It makes a big difference, right? Try to do a CMA with that information. You can. You cannot, right? Well, with RPR you can. This is what we're going to cover on Thursday. So refine value, this tab right here. We're going to play with this Thursday. And the comp analysis comes from the refined value. And finally, you can jump to the neighborhood. All of this information with just one address that we enter, you get all this information. There's no other system anywhere that will give you so much information on one parcel of land, NAR, RPR. Now, what we did today, and we're out of time already, what we did today was just how to access and how to navigate it. Yes? You know exactly what I'm going to tell you because I know a lot of you were already here. If you have another 10 minutes after we're done, just go directly to RPR and start playing with it. Pick a property that you are familiar with, your own home, a listing, a neighbor, right? Because that will give a very deep perspective to the data that you're seeing. You're seeing the data that you can identify with real life, yes, with your actual knowledge of the area. And then Thursday, at the same time, 3:30 p.m., we are going to have another Zoom meeting, and it's going to be all about refining property. Now, I am going to unmute all of you guys. Stop the share. I'm going to mute everybody. I'm going to look at my chat screen, my chat box. I have, okay, this is the one the view is frozen. Okay, any questions? Everybody's unmuted. No questions?
No.
Well, if you have no questions, guys, once again,
Whole thing.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Take the time to meet me here on the web, and enjoy the rest of the day. And I will see you Thursday at 3:30 p.m. Have fun. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Justin. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.